Good evening, ladies of the League of Chiropractic Women. I'm Dr. Kathy Wendland-Colby, and I want to thank you for joining us today for the LCW webinar series. The theme for tonight is Parenting and Chiropractic, featuring our guest speaker, Dr. Patty Giuliano. The League of Chiropractic Women is an organization for women by women. Our mission is to inspire and support women in chiropractic to thrive while advancing the principles and practice of chiropractic. We commit to serve the vitalistic principles of chiropractic as a subluxation-focused and drugless profession. For anyone who is not already a member, we welcome you to join us in our mission of empowering women in chiropractic worldwide. By becoming a member of the LCW, you can connect with like-minded women in chiropractic at live events, at chapter meetings, and through our online forums of bi-monthly webinars, our Speakers Bureau online course, and the LCW Coffee House Facebook group. All women in chiropractic are welcome to join the LCW, including chiropractors, CAs, spouses, students, admins, and patients, because together we are stronger. So now let's get to the webinar. It is my distinguished honor to introduce our featured presenter, Dr. Patty Giuliano. Hi.
Hi, Kathy.
How are you?
Glad to be here. So glad to be here. I just had a really wonderful long day in the office, and it was a great day, and this is a great way to kind of enter my evening because, as you know, our life continues, our day continues. So
it never. So speaking of that, let's talk about how our day continues, because I want to talk a little bit about your history. You have been, for the last 34 years, introducing thousands of people to chiropractic, which has allowed you to amass many stories and situations that have helped you and the people you mentor grow in applying the chiropractic principles into the practice in a way that really allows people to see a different paradigm and make positive changes in their life. I know that you have a busy practice that sees about 30 to 40% children and their families, right? Because the children have to bring their parents in with them.
They do.
All right. I know that your practice is so busy. You have over 200 people that have been under care in your office for over 20 years. So ladies, if you're listening right now and you're wondering how to build long-term care, Dr. Patty's one, she has been doing it repetitively with a lot of people. These people are getting their spines checked and adjusted when necessary, at least once a week. And I know that you have made a tremendous impact on your community. So tonight, what we're really going to dig into, not only parenting and chiropractic, we're going to dig into steps that you can apply in your practice where you can actually start applying the chiropractic principle without shoving it down people's throat. And I love that about you, because you always bring it to the real world terminology. And I think for so many people that are on the line right now, they feel like they're strong in the principle, but they don't want to feel like they're throwing up all the people. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. How do you make decisions for your families? How do we help our families that come into the office? How do we help our children make decisions that are best for them regarding their health?
Okay, so we could talk for actually hours and hours about this, and I tried to break it down and make it fun and exciting. I'll start with a story that I tell a lot, and it's a story about our children. So when they were little, I know a lot of chiropractors say that their kids never get quote unquote sick, yet our kids have to express and deal and adapt to everything that comes at them in the environment. And that's really important, that we let our kids know that that's normal. It's normal to have gunkies come out of your nose. It's normal for your body to when you're teething, for your body to have mucus production and to maybe get a fever or whatever. It's not a negative thing. It doesn't mean as chiropractors we haven't done our job. And I hear that a lot in the profession. If your kids are getting adjusted, they never get sick. Well, first we have to define what sick means, and that's another story. So when our kids were very little, we decided that we wanted them to be empowered. And the way we empowered them is we would whisper in their ears from when they were teeny tiny babies. You have a strong body. You have a healthy body. Your body knows how to heal you. Your body knows how to do everything it needs to do for you. Life is inside of you, and it's making you thrive and survive all of the crap that comes at you. And so as they got older, we were able to say it in different ways, yet so your body knows how to heal you. And so I remember the day we moved into our new beautiful house, and Christopher was 2 years old. And I was standing on one side of the dining room, and I saw him at the top of the steps, 18 steps coming down, and he was taking a step, and I watched as if it was today, him come rolling head over heels, tumbling down the stairs. And I went running up to him, picked him up, hugged him, and said, Christopher, everything's okay. Mommy's here. Mommy's going to make it all better. And he cried, Mommy, that's okay. My body will heal me. So, is that programming? Or, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Kath. So what are we instilling in our children? Are we instilling in them that when they have a symptom or a challenge that, okay, let's try to make sense of it. What is your body doing? And so I like to go back to the physics. It's really in the physiology that the philosophy comes through. So is philosophy saying to people, the 33 principles, and reciting them to them? No, it's into their life so they can understand it. So my favorite principle is the principle number 18, signs of life. Though that principle alone will allow you as a parent or as a chiropractor, but whether you are a chiropractic parent or not, to be able to share with people an understanding of the body, that the body doesn't ever do stupid, that we actually apply a judgment to things. We can say, I'm blowing my nose. Like right now, change of season. People are like, Dr. Patty, I'm all stuffed up. And I explain to them, whoa, it's a change of season. Your body's changing its seasons. What do you mean, Dr. Patty? This is not fun. I'm like, no, and it's probably not fun for the trees as they're bursting through and getting their leaves coming out. I don't know what they're feeling. I can only imagine that it's a change for the trees. It's hard for those flowers, my garlic, to pop up through the soil as well as through 8 inches of salt marsh hay. But it's doing it, and I'm sure it's exerting effort, and it's hard. Yet it's part of life. So the 5 signs of life textbook, which is a textbook that we should all own as chiropractors and spouses and CAs and refer back to, talks about assimilation. We take food in and how we get rid of what we don't need. So, it's a good way to explain to people that sometimes, my daughter, remember, she ate like 2 pints of blueberries and then she vomited and her teacher said she's sick. And I said, no, she's not sick. Her body didn't want all those blueberries and it got rid of them. And that's how I explained it to Katie. So every time something happened with our kids, we're able to explain it. You can do that with patients also, to explain things. Say, your body's creating mucus because it's breaking down the old lining and the new lining is building up. So what's it going to do with the old lining? It's got to get out either through your nose, your mouth, your the other end. Somehow you got to get the mucus out of your body. So no, it's not fun going through it, but it's just give your body a chance to do what it needs to do for you. Don't stop it from doing its thing. Excretion is the second sign of life. So what is that? That's getting rid of stuff in your body. So coughing and sneezing, I explain to patients, that's smart of your body to do that. It's trying to get the dead buggies out of your body or whatever is irritating your lungs. It's important for your body to do that. You don't want those things to get deeper inside of you. Adaptability, the third sign of life. I was just doing my spinal care class, as some people call it spinal care class. I call it a self-care workshop, and explaining to the women that were there that when my mother's blood pressure spiked up to 220 over 70, for those of you that know those numbers, know that the high number, 220, is pretty high. I mean, you can stroke out. I went through a process with her of trying to understand, why would her body do that? Why would her heart be doing that? Come to find out, it took me months and months to figure it out. She was eating ramen noodles, and the ramen noodles have like thousands of grams of salt in it. So she's eating that, and she's not drinking enough water, and Her heart could not pump the blood to parts of her body, to her brain and the rest of her body that it needed to. So what's it going to do? The wisdom and the genius of the body did not ask her permission. It did what it needed to do. It started pumping harder so it could get the blood to the rest of her body. That's a smart thing. She could have stroked out, so that's not a smart thing for her to be eating salt to that extent. So we can talk to people and explain that, you are in control of your body. You're in control of what you eat, what you think, and you're in control of either looking at the body as having intelligence or looking at the body as being stupid. So I choose to teach the people in my life and the people in my practice that the body is smart, because philosophy. So when I hear people say, you can't shove the philosophy down people's throats, you can't tell people the chiropractic philosophy, that's baloney. Of course you can. You can infiltrate it in every conversation that you have in the office. So when people come up to you, whether you're a CA in the office or you're a chiropractor, people come up and they're talking about all their symptoms and problems, rather than saying, oh, chiropractic can help that, instead say, wow, I wonder why your body's doing that. Did you ever wonder why your body's doing that? Let's see if we can make sense of it, and then go back to your physiology. Talk about the signs of life. The next sign, growth. It's a sign of life. If you're not growing, you are dying. And that's on many levels, whether it's emotionally, intellectually, or on a physical level. So growth is an important aspect to life. New cells are forming every day. It's interesting. I read this passage to my patients during my self-care workshop, and I want to read it to you because it's so important. Talks about growth, talks about physiology of the body. And what I do is I tell them that, you have a brain and you have a nerve system, and that brain and nerve system do control everything in your body. But in the words of a 10-year-old patient of mine, Travis, who said, Dr. Patty, what tells the brain what to do? I thought, gosh, Travis, that's really an adult question to be asking, and it's really awesome. And you know what? You have a genius inside of your body. That genius whispers to your brain, and it tells your brain what it needs to do for you. So that's our innate intelligence, but you don't have to shove that down somebody's throat. Just, you can say, wow, we have a genius, a brilliant intelligence within us. If we didn't have it, we don't control our brain. We don't tell our brain what to do. We don't, what tells the brain what to do? Well, here's what happens inside of our body due to the miraculous genius that we have, that we call in chiropractic our innate intelligence. In a matter of 60 seconds, about the amount of time it will take me to read this page, your body will perform millions of complex functions quietly, automatically, and flawlessly. You will take about 15 breaths. Your heart will beat 70 times. Your tear ducts will moisten your eyes about 25 times. A million chemical reactions will occur in your brain. That happen? I don't know. Must be the genius. Your bone marrow will produce 180 million blood cells and destroy the same amount. You will shed 10,000 particles of skin. Now that's the gross part. Where does it go? They leave it in my room. And 300 million cells will die, just like that, over and over again throughout your lifetime. Your body will work countless mini miracles to keep you breathing, moving, thinking, and living. Now, you may think I got that from a chiropractic philosophy book. No, I got it from an ad where National Geographic was trying to sell me a book on your amazing body. Well, know that your body is amazing. And that's our job, is to teach the people that come into our lives, our children, from the moment they're born until the moment they go off on their own in their lives, to keep reminding them, you have a smart body, you have a healthy body. Your body knows how to heal you. Your body knows how to do everything it needs to do for you. And all you need to do is make sure that you don't interfere with that you don't cause things to block your body from doing what it needs to do. Subluxation will block from doing things that it needs to do in your body, getting those messages from brain to body, body to brain. That's how simple I explain it to people. I explained it to somebody today as a traffic jam. I said, your spine has a traffic jam in it, and we need to let the cars go. We need to open up the jam so that the rest of your body, the cars can get to the rest of your body, because that's how your body works more efficiently and functions to its best ability. So growth, energy in, energy out. More energy in, less energy out, our body grows bigger. More energy out than energy in, our body grows thinner. So think about that and share that with people. Reproduction. Well, we can talk about it on many levels. Reproduction, it's a sign of life. So it could be the cells of your body, like National Geographic is saying, that all the cells of your body are growing and dying. And so that means cancer cells, they're also growing, and they don't live forever. They die off. And the fact that new cancer cells grow is the thing that I question. Why are these new cancer cells growing? Why can't we get our body, our healthy, normal cells to grow and flourish, and not allow cancer cells to grow? Don't know the answer. Still going to try to figure it out during my lifetime. We can look at reproduction as pregnancy and childbirth. That process. Many chiropractors want to say, I got my patient pregnant. And you have to be careful about that, especially if you're a guy. So how does that happen? Well, when you get the brain talking to the body and the body talking to the brain, life happens. The signs of life are able to do what they need to do unobstructed. So you want to share that with your pregnant people or your people thinking about becoming pregnant, that it's really important to keep that nerve system as healthy as possible, and to explain it to them in ways that they can understand, to explain that baby's growing in there, and that baby is growing without mom's help very much. Okay, she is there to be their support person. She is there to offer nutrients and a safe place. But beyond that, she can't take credit for how that baby is growing. That baby is growing itself in there, and it's growing itself. It's flourishing. It's thriving as long as nothing interferes with it, and then it will come into this world where it still needs to be supported and helped and held and given nutrition. And we can't protect them as much as we think we can. Yet we can teach them that they have life inside of them that has the ability to care for them, and that we teach them an understanding of when their body does things that may be different from what they expect, or they feel certain aches and pains in their body, that it's a normal thing, and help them make. Katie was maybe 2.5 years old. Christopher had just been born. And one day she was walking around the house holding her belly and going, Mommy, I'm having a baby. I'm having a baby. What's up? And she said, my tummy, it hurts me just like it hurt you when you were having Christopher. And so I went through a whole process with her of helping her to understand what was going on with her body. I said, okay, Katie, well, let's think about it. Did you have enough water to drink today? And I said, how many bottles have you had? Because she was still nursing and drinking bottles at that point, 2.5 years old. And she had not had enough water that day. And I said, Katie, did you poop? And she goes, no, I haven't pooped. And I said, okay, Katie, so this is your body teaching you and telling you, giving you a signal that you need to drink more water and you need to poop. But you can't poop unless you're drinking water. So you got to drink lots of water so you can push all the poopies out. So Katie got that. And to this day, she'll come home and she'll be like, sometimes she'll get itchy if she's not drinking enough water, or she'll get a headache, and she'll say, Mom, I'm itchy and I got a headache. I'm like, Katie, what does that mean? She goes, I know, I'm not drinking enough water. I'm like, Katie, yeah, you know your body. Take care of your body. And my son will come over and he might have, some nasally stuff and he's sneezing or coughing or whatever, I'll forget and I'll go, hey, Christopher, what's going on? Oh, so nothing, nothing, Mom. My body's healing me. I'm going through something. My body will take care of it. So if you give your kids the tools, if you give your patients the tools, they too will start recognizing a new paradigm to think in. And granted, we have more control over our kids than we do our patients because they go back to their world. My friend Pam Jarbo calls it the civilian world. They go back there and people live in a different paradigm. So if they're not strong enough to allow their new paradigm to be shared, then it whittles down and it whittles down. And then as a chiropractor, you need to just keep reminding them and when they come in. And I really truly believe that, Kathy was saying how we've had over 200 people coming into our office on a regular basis for the last 20 years. And I'm really proud of that. And I'm really proud of the fact that these people trust us, but they also know that we're doing something different and unique in our office. And they want to be around us. They want to be part of it. And you could probably ask many of those people what a subluxation is. I don't know if they'd all be able to tell you that. Yet they do know that when they come, that they're able to get something and be something more than before they walked in the door. And that says something because we have people come visit our practice, other chiropractors and students, and they'll say, you're not like always talking about subluxations and innate intelligence. And it's true. We don't have to. I feel like at this point, it just exudes from us. And it's in every conversation that we have, we're bringing it back to an understanding that life is intelligent. The life inside of you is intelligent, empowering them that we don't do the healing, that we flip the switches. When we're adjusting them, we're flipping switches, and that their body can take that and do whatever it does with that is the miracle. And that we empower them that you're the one that's healing you. You're the one that's allowing your body to grow and expand and be better than it was before you walked through this door. So, a couple of ways to allow yourself to come into an understanding of the philosophy more. Obviously, Stevenson's textbook, which would be a really great place to start. Peter, my husband, created, when he was in chiropractic school, a list of 70 or 80 commonly asked questions. If you would like a copy of those, I'm happy to send those to you if you email me, pattylcw@gmail.com. Those commonly asked questions, if you can answer every single one of them, you will be able to allow a new paradigm shift for the people in your practice. Because when they ask you those questions, which they will, and many of them probably already have, you will have an answer for them because you've thought about it in the context of intelligence and life being intelligence and the body being smart and empowering of them. The other thing, there are philosophy forums that you can join. There are chiropractic events that you can go to where you can get the philosophy. I dare not mention any because I might miss one and I would feel so terrible. So you know where they are, and if you can't find them, you can email me. I know the Academy of Chiropractic Philosophy out of Sherman gives a certification program, and it's just not an academic venture. Realize this is a way of you shifting your consciousness about how you think, you make decisions about yourself, your family, and how you share those concepts and ideas and apply them into your life, your practice, and into your lives that you touch. So I think I've shared everything that is in me tonight to share with you. If you'd like more information, you can always, like I said, email me. and I'm happy to respond and offer you any insights that I can. So Dr. Kathy, how we doing on time?
I think you're doing great. I think you did such a fabulous job. And you really, Patty, I have to tell you, you really brought about, you shared the chiropractic story without, like you said, without shoving it down their throats, because what you really shared intelligence. And after all, that's really where chiropractic lives. So there's a
Right.
couple questions that we have coming across. So I'd like to go ahead and start with some questions, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Okay. You talked about pregnancy, and one of the questions that's coming across right now is, how do you have the conversation with your patients before they conceive so that they understand they're going to have the baby adjusted?
Okay, so
Right. So
that
they
answer,
basically
I'm sorry, I missed that.
to bring the patients to the understanding of why the baby should be adjusted after birth.
Okay, so it's not about the mom, it's about the baby, or it's both?
The question is
So it's
asking, how do you
about
have so
helping
they
the mom. I know you're breaking up, Kathy. I'm sorry. That's why. Okay, so here's what I think you said. I think you asked me educate the mom first of all that it's really to get adjusted during pregnancy. So I refer them to the ICPA and all their information on the website, and I talk about their nerve system. Nerve system has to be able to direct and help control this whole process, and that. For the baby to mom, she needs to have her pelvis needs to be able to move and glide and be able to accept the different sizes that the baby will grow to, so the baby doesn't get stuck in there at any point. And then that will also help her in her delivery. That's one thing. And then how do we talk to the mom about the baby? So we're constantly throughout the pregnancy talking about how the baby's growing in there, and that baby's nerve system is growing. And it's really important when they come out that they be checked, because the birth process is one of the most traumatic intrusions that we will experience in our lifetime, barring, somebody bashing you in the head with a sledgehammer or something, or, somebody's, squeezing and tractioning your neck. So here I explained to them, both in the office as well as when self-care, we're explaining, you always want to teach people about the causes of subluxation. And the first one being the birth process, even in the most normal, natural of birthing processes. So I think we got kicked off the air, but I'm going to continue answering that question because we're still recording. So, so that's what I do. And then we have a lot of this, so I can actually have some of the pregnant women talk to women, or women that are thinking of becoming pregnant, and if I can connect the two of them so they can have a conversation. As far as newborn babies, everybody sees them getting adjusted in the office. We have a big ottoman in the middle of our adjusting area that babies get adjusted on, or if moms are holding them or dads, everybody gets to watch and see. And so if there's someone in there that's contemplating, who's thinking of, starting a family, I always say, it's so important, right? And talk about it when I'm adjusting the babies. So I'd love to know if there are any more questions. And not seeing any, I'm going to sign off now and say thank you so much for listening. And if you are an LCW member, thank you so much. We appreciate your support of this organization that is so hell-bent on allowing women to feel their many of us feel disempowered, and the LCW is here as your support base to allow you to know that we're here and we will bring you programs and webinars. And all you have to do is go to the website and check us out. If you're not a member, please check out the website and join. Hi, Kathy.
There we go. My apologies. It seemed like our system kicked us both out, but we are back on. We are still live. So hopefully we are still recording and we have this all saved. So Patty, one more time, we're going to ask that question because I know we both got cut out. The question was, how do you have the conversation before a couple is pregnant so that they understand the need for care, not only for them, but for the newborn baby after the birth process?
Okay. So it's so much easier if you have a lot of pregnant people in your, because what I do is I connect people. So I know that somebody's thinking of starting a family. So I'll have them talk to somebody who's either pregnant or has been through the whole process and has had a couple of babies. And I say, I think you want to talk to this person and ask them their experience of getting adjusted through pregnancy versus when they didn't get adjusted through their first pregnancy. So I try not to do all of the talking and blah, 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 and have them connect with other people and let them sing the accolades of what they experience with chiropractic. The other thing is, we want them to baby checked once the baby's born. And I'll preface that up. And in the workshop, I always talk about subluxation. If you leave anything out, don't leave subluxation out of your workshop, because you need to understand that the first most dramatic thing that happens to them, dramatic and traumatic, is the birth process, even in the most normal, natural of circumstances. So I give them information, Dr. Taubman's information of his study back in 1969, when he says that even the normal obstetrical maneuvers will cause trauma that could be life-threatening for babies. So I'll show them things like that, and I'll have them talk to people, women that have just had babies. And they, of course, they're seeing newborn babies being adjusted in the office. And I'll always explain it, because we have an open adjusting area with a big ottoman in the middle, and that's where the babies get checked. And so everybody's sitting around and they get to watch, and I get to talk adjusting them. And not just me, Dr. Peter and Dr. Sherry also, I don't want to leave them out. And so it gets people thinking, if they might have some fear about it, they can see how gentle it is. And how trusted parents are with handing us their babies. So, did I answer the question? Can you hear me? Eileen? Can you hear? Oh. Okay, so ask me a question. If you have one. If anyone else has a question, please ask. My interviewer got knocked off the call, so I'll just handle it here. Okay. So Eileen or Rachel, any more questions for me? If not, we'll say goodnight. Okay, so everybody.